Welcome, friends and fans, to another episode of GalaxyCon Live, where we are bringing the convention experience directly to you. First of all, we do apologize for the delay. We had some unforeseen technical difficulties, but right now we are ready to be joined by Mary Poppins himself, and now is the time for all of you in our chat room to begin typing in your questions for him. Immediately after the session, you will have the opportunity to talk to him directly through our private chat options, as well as purchase autographs and private shoutouts as well. So without further ado, let's bring out our guest. He is a prolific actor whose credits include Henry, A Portrait of a Serial Killer, Serial Love, Mallrats, The Walking Dead, Brightburn, and of course his role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Yondu of the Ravagers. Please welcome Mr. Michael Rooker. There he goes. Hi, Michael. Yes, sir, we do.
Okay, very good.
We're good, boss. How are you doing in your part of the world?
It's nice. It's hot and sweaty down here. Very humid. I'm down here in Atlanta doing a little work on a property I have.
Oh, very nice, very nice. First of all, glad to have you here. Glad to have you on our virtual stage. We do miss having you live and in person on our stages in front of your fans, but we've been experimenting with this virtual environment, and we've been having a lot of fun so far. It's so glad to have you on it, and you're always awesome to have. You're one of the best guests I've ever seen at the shows. You give so much to the audience. You're one of the best, bro. Really.
Okay. Hey, time out.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Jeez Louise, please knock it off.
I'm just saying what is the truth. So, all right, we gotta kick some stuff around for a few minutes before we can get questions from our audience. So, I just like to know what got you interested in acting.
You know, I had some friends back in Chicago who were actors, and I kind of would go see their shows, and I thought to myself, if I couldn't do it any better than that, I wouldn't do it. And so that was somewhat of a little challenge to myself.
Yeah.
And so I took some classes and decided, you know what, this is not that easy, but I kind of like it. And so I just stuck with it. I ended up auditioning for a big hoity-toity kind of Chicago theater school called the Goodman School of Drama. Mm-hmm. And ended up, for some reason, they let me in and got my degree from there.
Very nice, very nice. And you certainly had a pretty solid career. It's safe to say that Henry leveled you up and opened up doors for future opportunities?
Henry did not, actually. Henry
Really?
was the one that nobody wanted to see.
Ooh.
It took literally 5 years for that movie to be released. Nobody wanted it, and eventually it got released. We showed it at screened it in Chicago, and then the director, John McNaughton, it was his life. He tried his best to get it seen. Eventually, Harold Becker, not Harold Becker, was it? Forgot the director's name, but we played it at Telluride, and it was the director's choice for his. Each director got to pick their choice, of films that they wanted to show, and he picked Henry. And from there, it got an international debut, and people started wanting to see it, and we lost about 50% of our audience the first screening, and me and the producers were in the back row slapping our hands and clapping, and we loved it. We just wanted to do a movie that caused audiences to respond in some way.
You succeeded,
and we did.
Absolutely. Oh, Mike, we lost you there for a second.
Sorry about that.
No worries. You're back now. You're back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just I'll give you a high sign. But so I went from there, did a lot of really solid work. Worked with our friend Kevin Smith on Mallrats. What was that experience like?
Yeah. Kevin was more into his Game Boy than directing.
Oh, really?
Well, that's how good he is. He doesn't have to direct. Come on, please.
Well,
you know what? I cast, you guys act, I play my Game Boy. Okay, what's the problem here? All right.
Yeah.
And so it came out really very well. He's a great director, great friend now, and a really cool writer. So I met a lot of great people, great actors on that. Stan Lee was the first time I ever met Stan Lee. Became
Nice.
very fast friends. Been friends. We're friends up until his passing,
Yeah.
this past year, yeah, man, it was a great piece. And I hear, I don't know if it's true or not, but I hear that he literally is going to do a third one or a second one.
I look forward to that. So, do people still try to give you little bags of chocolate covered pretzels?
Oh, and indeed, I cherish those.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, and Walking Dead again, another one of your signature roles, character of Merle. How did that come about?
That was a very interesting process because I got some friends who were casting people down in Wilmington, and they are the ones that told me about the project. They said, Rooker, we got this role. Oh my God, you're perfect for it. The guy, he's such an asshole. They handcuff him to the rooftop. He cuts his hand off and gets away. I said, whoa, time out. The dude cuts his hand off. He doesn't chew it off or anything like that, right? He just cuts. So yeah, he cuts his hand off, and I said, I'll do it. And she said, well, wait a minute. There is just a little issue. And I said, wait, no. She phrased it differently. She said that the producer has a hard on for you. And I said, oh, I take it it's not a really nice hard on. And she goes, oh, no. Something happened years and years and years ago, and he's held this grudge forever. And this is Frank Darabont. And he loves your work, but he said to himself, I will never, ever work with him ever again. And so we never really got to work together, but way back when I was just beginning, I was cast in one of his projects, and I had to back out of the project. They lost their funding because of that. I was in the middle of Days of Thunder, so I was kind of a pretty big name back then because of that movie. And I said to my agents, listen, guys, can you like call and do something? Because I had to like literally fly over to Italy to do Cliffhanger. And they said, oh, don't worry, we'll take good care of it. Don't worry, we'll talk to him. He'll understand it. He'll understand. You got to make some money, you know. And so lo and behold, I found out later on, they just said they called him up and said, he's out, boom, and hung up. They didn't give him any explanation, nothing, nada. And so he's held that grudge. He thought it was me making that choice and making that decision.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And he found out later on, and hence he found out the truth.
Yeah.
And I wrote him a letter. My casting friend said, look, you got to do something. You got to do something. This role is perfect for you. I said, well, what do I do? And he said, go over to his home, wash his cars, bring him cigars, get him laid, whatever, man. Do whatever you got to do. And I go, well, what can I do? And he write a letter explaining what you just explained to me.
Yeah.
And I'll get it to him, because if you send it, he's never going to accept it. So basically I wrote the letter, and she got it to him, and he believed it. He accepted it, and we've been friends ever since. And
Great.
there you have it. That's how it all turned out.
Oh, great! And obviously, it worked out fantastic for the show. Did they?
Yeah.
They told you up front it was a character was going to be in for a while and then appear to be dead. Did they give you an inkling about when they were going to bring Merle back?
I don't think I really don't think they were ever going to bring Merle back.
Oh, okay.
I haven't come back.
Well,
I did. I died 2 times in one episode. That gives you a hint, don't you?
Well, when you first time when this hand was sawed off, we thought, is he gone? Did the zombies get him?
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to do with that character yet, because it was the cop was supposed to saw his hand off. So they didn't know what to do in the comics. I had read the comics, And so I kind of knew, and I realized that Merle Dixon, Earl Dixon, we're not in the comics.
No.
So that was great for me. That was one of the deciding factors for me to do it as well, because now I get to do my own thing. I get to invent my own character and do it the way do it the way I want it, with appreciation and understanding from the director and the producers and stuff. But what about this? So they hired me for what I'm going to bring to the role, right? And so hence that's what I did. But I even there, I didn't know if I was coming back or not.
Yeah.
They kept me on hold forever.
Really?
Forever. And I got to tell you, for young actors out there, you better make sure they keep you on hold for a certain amount of time, and that's it. Otherwise, you're kind of screwed, because I had lost roles because I was on hold from The Walking, because everyone knew I was going to come back.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I was going to come back. They didn't tell me I was going to come back. There was nothing in my contract saying that I was going to come back.
Yeah.
So I ended up losing like several gigs, just waiting around and wondering, when am I going to come back? If I'm going to come back. And I finally decided I'm never going to come back on the show. So I'm going to go and I'm just going to work. Mm-hmm. And you know what? It was hard to work, because everyone, all the producers, all the other shows that were hiring, they were like, in their minds, they knew this character was coming back. So they're not going to hire me. And then in the middle of their show, I have to go. Yeah. So that was kind of a drag. But man, once I got back, we kicked ass. And in the third season, I got to tell you, the third season, we lowered the boom on everyone. That was a great role. Yeah. I had such a great time on it. Had a lot of fun. So that's the long story short, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It ended up being pretty cool.
Absolutely. And of course, you absolutely brought it to the role of Yondu. How did that begin?
Oh, Yondu.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I mean, come on. I mean, James Gunn wrote Yondu.
Yeah.
James Gunn wrote the role for me.
Specifically.
Okay. And then I couldn't do it because I was in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And then I find out that The Walking Dead is coming back. I'm coming back. And then I'm going to start at this date. And that's exactly when James Gunn was going to go over to London to film, Guardians of the Galaxy, the very first one, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. And I called him and I said, oh, man. And he said, oh, man. And we were both whining and crying and bitching and moaning. And he said, well, maybe perhaps you can do a smaller role. And I said, yeah, man, whatever. We could probably get a few days off, come over, do the smaller role and come back and finish the show, right? Walking Dead. Yeah. And he said, that's what we had agreed upon. And then I was on my way. I was flying back to LA. Mm-hmm. And I got the call from Glenn Mazzara telling me I'm going to die in this season, in this episode. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? And he thought I was really upset, but I was like thrilled. And I was like, don't tell anyone, Rooker. Do not say a word. This is top secret. Right. I won't. Not a word, sir. Goodbye. And anyway, I don't know what to say. Too bad, right? Oh, bye. I hang up. I call James Gunn. I go, yo, James, good, buddy, guess what? They're cutting me out, man. I'm dead and gone. I can do Yondu. And he goes, what? Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. And we're screaming at the airport. I'm in the line to get onto the plane, and I'm screaming and jumping up and down. And people can hear him from the other side, too, on the phone. And then all of a sudden he stopped, and he goes, oh, shit. And I go, oh, come on. Don't tell me you've already cast it. Unbelievable. He goes, no. It hasn't been cast. I just have to convince the studios to hire you. I said, well, you might as well forget it, because they ain't going to hire me, man. If it's up to them, it ain't happening, brother. But it ended up that James Gunn had a lot to say.
Yeah.
From the audition I had done previously, I ended up getting cast as Yondu. So
Great. Yeah. And
thank you very much for everyone involved in that.
yeah, absolutely. Gunn definitely has made his mark on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and props to Kevin Feige for giving his directors their own latitude in doing these little elements to that tapestry they've done.
Unbelievable. I mean, the latitude that they gave Gunn was just unprecedented. The guy got to do anything he wanted. It was amazing. I mean, he got to hire me, for God's sake. Are you kidding me?
What? How heavy was that fin?
Not at all. I forgot I had it on.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah,
and
forgot I had it. Almost knocked myself out 3-4 times. Because I forgot. I mean, the short one was okay. The first movie was okay, but the second movie is 8 inches tall and 2 inches beyond my nose. Mm. So I'm reaching in to get some schmelz off my blue skin, right? And I reach and I'm going, oh, what's that? And I come into the mirror and I hit the mirror, boom. I fall back onto the bed and I'm seeing stars, dude. Yeah. I almost knocked myself out. I just almost co-cocked myself. And I did it several times on the door frame. You know, I got a pretty hard head. It's been hit with Louisville sluggers, crowbars, iron pipes, stuff like that. Mostly by myself, you know. But it's had some trauma in its past. And I mean, not a lot of people know, but I broke an iron pipe over my own head one time. So,
go by.
You don't want to hear that story, do you?
I think our audience probably does.
I was dumping garbage from a property that I bought. You know, I go around buying stuff. I was dumping all the pipes, you know, and stuff like that. And I come to the very last one. I see it. I'm tired. I've been working all day long, and I'm like, yeah. And I grabbed that mofo and I flung it. And the next thing I knew, I lifted my head up. I didn't know who I was. I did not know where I was. All I knew was I was sitting on my ass and like hunched over. And I was like, what am I doing here? I had no idea. The only thing that was really, only thing I really knew was, wow, everything is so beautiful. These colors are amazing. And I'm thinking, wow, look at the green on these trees. And the dirt is so vibrant. I mean, unbelievable. And I'm looking at my hands, and my hands are like perfect, you know, and I'm like, wow, look at my skin. It's so beautiful. Eventually I would start realizing who I am, where I am, and what happened. And I turn to look for this pipe. And I go over and I see the pipe and I pick it up, and half the big pipe. And then I realize the big long pipe, there's a crack in it. And I look, the pipe there was an elbow. It was an elbow. And when I flung it, the elbow part hit me in the back of the head and broke. I mean, the pipe broke in two, cracked it right in half. And
wow,
that's what happened. And I broke the pipe, literally cracked the pipe literally right in half over the backside of my head. And I didn't feel a thing. It was amazing.
Well, you felt funny when you got up.
No, I didn't feel funny at all. I felt beautiful.
Wow,
no,
okay.
I felt like, wow, look how beautiful everything is. There was no pain at all. And I just went on about my life. It's kind of crazy.
Meanwhile, Yondu's fin used to knock you on your ass left and right.
Yeah, Yondu's fin came close to doing just that again several times.
Oh,
anyway,
my.
so that's a cool story. That's a crazy story, and
Cool. I think we got some from our chat room, so let's go ahead and roll our first one. I'll ask Mike, our producer, to roll it.
Right on.
Coming up. And this one's from Kevin. What's the coolest thing you took from a set?
I never take anything from sets except myself. I leave sets all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I take myself and I go. Okay. I have no idea where that fin went. I do not know where Merle's knife hand is. I honestly don't. I don't know how it got in my cabinet in my home in California. I don't know how that fin ended up. I don't know how that little troll. Actually, I know how the little troll got there, and the orb, because it was a gift from Marvel. So I got the orb, a gift from Marvel and James Gunn for my efforts in the project. And I oh my God, it's the orb! And I open it, and the troll is inside. It was a beautiful gift, and I have that. I know how I got that, but all those other objects, I have no idea.
It's a mystery. Well,
the little frog. Oh no, don't know how that got in my pocket. I have no idea.
I don't know. Sorry, Kevin. Wish we could give you a better answer, but it's a waste. But thank you anyway for your question. That was good. What's next? From Amy. Is there any actor or character from The Walking Dead that you wish Merle had a chance to interact with?
No, none. Merle and I are very similar in some ways. We're very kind of loners, and I love people. I get along with people. I have a lot of fun. But my preference is to just be left alone and do my own thing, right?
Yeah.
And so that's it. I mean, I don't really have none of the care. I didn't have any. Personally, no desire to work with any of the other actors in particular. I mean, I enjoyed working with everyone when I have to work with everyone. I mean, stuff like that. But there was no real concerted effort on my part to work with one of the actors versus another one of the actors.
And in your defense, the characters on that show are too busy running around trying to stay alive. The quiet moments are very few and far between.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. We are running around trying to stay alive for real. I mean, we're running over logs, jumping over rattlesnakes, falling down ledges, getting broken and burned and scraped and scratched and poked. I mean, that is a hard set to be on, and it's a lot of fun because it felt so much like when you're a kid running around the woods of Alabama. I mean, that's all I did as a kid was run around, climb trees, build forts, have crabapple fights. I mean, just goofy, stupid kid stuff. And that's what it felt like to be on the set of The Walking Dead. I mean, stupid, crazy kid stuff. Jumping around, running around in the forest, having a good time, sweating up a storm. You don't have to have makeup. You just if you need a little more dirt, you just reach down and grab it up and put it on you,
Yeah, absolutely. Amy, thank you. That was a great question. What do we have next? From Jesse. What do you miss most since the COVID restrictions have started?
Restaurants. I miss going to restaurants. I really enjoy going out and finding the best food possible. And I have a very eclectic taste. And I like a little bit of everything, although I don't like super, super hot, spicy stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, I miss going to restaurants and dining out, that kind of thing.
That's definitely a creature comfort.
Or even driving through. I love drive-throughs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I could do one of those shows, but there's already several people doing those kinds of shows. And plus, I'd be 300 pounds. Easily, I'd be 300 pounds. So I'd have to pretend like I'm actually biting it and then spit it out in the tub.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jesse,
thank you. Go on. And from Christopher, were you surprised by how large your role would be in Guardians Volume 2?
You know what? I was indeed. But I can see how that occurred. When I spoke to James Gunn, and we talked about, yeah, I'm gonna die off in this film here, and basically he said, if you're gonna go, doggone it, you're gonna go with style. So he wrote such an amazing role for me. There is nothing I can say that can surpass how he developed it and how he wrote. It was beautiful. It was beautifully done. I was very lucky guy. It was one of the best ways. Two back to back, Merle Dixon and Yondu, two of the greatest kind of exodus from a project. I mean, my bank account doesn't like that shit. Let me tell you why. No.
Yeah,
Don't get me
I'm with you.
wrong. But if you're gonna go out, you might as well go out in style, babe. And in both those characters went out big time. My only comment for The Walking Dead was, Merle came in an ass kicker. I wanted to leave an ass kicker. And
Fair.
for Yondu, there was nothing I could say about that. That was beautiful.
It was.
That was amazing exit.
My weirdly, my favorite part is the little flashback with Yondu and the young Star-Lord.
Oh, is it really? Oh,
just shoot just that quick little bit, showing him how to shoot. That was such a wonderful moment.
Isn't
Absolutely.
it? Was it showed such a beautiful daddy son kind of relationship, and saw a softer side, and teaching your kid how to shoot. I mean, I'm a big advocate. I love shooting, so I have a little bit of a percentage of a gun range in LA. It's called the Angela Shooting Range. Okay. So I'm one of the shareholders. So I get to shoot anytime I want, free, on any of the private ranges I want to shoot on if they're not being used. Sure. So that's that. And I still shoot. I love doing it. It's just relaxing to me, right? Yeah. Looking at a target, relaxing, seeing which way the wind's blowing, and actually hitting the target, and even close in stuff too. So I really enjoy that. And so getting to show that was really beautiful for that character.
Absolutely. Christopher, thank you. Great question. What do we have next? From Crystal, what goes first, cereal or milk?
Who's on first?
What goes first?
What's on second?
I don't know who's on third.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's on third. But who's on first? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't care. I really don't care. I eat cereal by itself without milk, and I drink milk without cereal all the time.
Do you have a cereal preference?
I like mixing my Raisin Bran and granola type stuff with broccoli, asparagus, carrots, all kinds of stuff. And most people, when they see my cereal, they're like, "What the hell is that?" Well, this is leftover broccoli from the night before. These are carrots. And this over here is asparagus. I know it makes your peas melt, but I don't care. I like it anyway. It goes well with milk and cereal. That's what I do. That's how I like to do it.
Right on, man. I've never heard that before, but
you've never mixed your
I've never made my leftover veggies in my cereal. Sorry.
Oh yeah, try it. It's delicious.
All right. I'll hold you to it. All right. Crystal, thank you for a culinary suggestion. From Desiree. Your characters have ranged from scaring the ever-living bleep out of me from Henry and to making me laugh and swoon in Yondu. What have been some of your favorite roles to play and why?
The Walking Dead and Yondu. And I think we've been talking about why. The whys are very obvious. But I've done others. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm joking. There are others that I've really, really enjoyed. And one because I always get brought up and said hello to because of my role in Days of Thunder.
Yeah.
And NASCAR has been really good for me and good to me. And I do things for them for free all the time. I just go in, I present awards, I do these things. And last year I think I did about, geez, dude, I think I did about 21 commercials for NASCAR.
Wow.
Yeah, introducing the tracks, introducing some of the
Okay.
drivers, doing all that stuff. And I did there. If you go back on YouTube, you can find, Michael Rooker presents for NASCAR, and there's just gobs and gobs and gobs of them, and it was really a lot of fun.
Awesome. Awesome. And speaking of fun, to remind our audience, if you'd like to chat with Mr. Rooker like I am now, or get a picture or get a personalized shout out, please head over to GalaxyCon.com and sign up. And thank you for that question, Desiree. We'll ask him to roll another one. From Brian. How much did you enjoy working on the set of Tombstone with Russell and Kilmer?
Who?
Oh, the two guys. The Russell, you were with him in Guardians 2.
Oh, those other guys. Oh, those
Yeah.
other guys?
The other guys, like Sam, Sam Elliott is one of those guys.
Sam who? I mean, come on. I don't know. They're just a bunch of guys, hanging out. I just wanted to be in Tombstone and have a good time. I love writing, and I also enjoy the heck out of shooting. Of course, I mean I love learning the whole process and using single actions, and we had a blast doing that too. It's Tombstone, man, beautiful. What a great Western, and I haven't done any since. What a shame, right? I would totally do a Western, man. And
Yeah.
Vel is such a great guy. I mean, and Kurt, of course, we did. Kurt was in Guardians,
Yeah.
so.
He's been seems like every other movie he's been doing lately has been a Western.
Oh,
so.
Come on. Kurt's been in it since he was like 7 years old.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's done more than anyone that I know in the business. He was a child actor and one that actually survived being a child actor.
Yes, he did.
Without any major, issues and whatnot,
Yeah.
and he must have had a really good upbringing, and people were, you know what? He's just a really cool dude, and he's been in it for a long, long, long time. So if you're an actor, you're working with Kurt, and he says something, maybe I would listen.
Yeah.
The guy knows his shit, dude. Wow.
No, he's been in it in every form. So cool. Brian, thank you for that one. Let's roll another one from Irene. She would like to know the makeup process that you went through for Yondu.
Well, we did it, two different makeup teams. The very first one was in London, and they did the very first Yondu makeup, and so it took them months to develop the paint, to develop the different way. They had several actors that ended up being my skin doubles, basically, and they would test it on the people that had skin very similar to mine. And I don't think they had a problem finding anyone with skin similar to mine, with my Irish and English background, So, it's thin, it burns, it's got blemishes, it's got red splotchy areas. It's easy to find guys over in London that look the same skin.
I'm a Celtic mutt too, so I'm with you.
You know what? I am butt white everywhere, so that's the way it is.
And we saw that in Mallrats, so yeah.
That's right, you did. Oh my God! So what was the question? Let me.
She's talking about the make. So you did. They figured
the
out
makeup. Yes. So London, they developed it. We did the makeup there. It ended up being a few hours to put on and an hour or so to take off.
That's not bad.
Not bad. And then we did. Then we had a makeup team that was over here, and what a great team! Luandra, Whitehurst, and Scotty. I mean, these guys were the shit. You know what I'm saying? They made it work. It was beautiful. The whole fin worked well. Everything just like jived, and sometimes you just don't know how it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And it ended up working out quite well. So I've been very pleased with that whole process, and you just never know. I mean, because it's makeup. I don't do makeup. I mean, my general. This is what happens when I get on a movie, unless there's some sort of basic scarring or something like that.
Yeah.
And of course, the last couple of movies, I had to have stuff. But normally, my whole career, I would walk into the makeup room and I'd look in the mirror and I'd go, "And what do you think?" And they'll go, "Well, we could use a little bit. We could use a little." And I'd go, "Nah." And I'd turn around and walk out. Oh my God. They probably thought, what a jerk, but I don't normally use makeup. I really like when I get angry or happy or turned on in some way, my skin changes. My skin becomes red. I flush easily. I embarrass easily. I get angry easily, that kind of thing. It depends on the role, right? And my skin will change depending on what emotion's going on from the inside.
Yeah.
So I don't like a lot of makeup. I like for I like for the audience to see the nuances of what happens to the skin when different emotional scenes start occurring. And sometimes if you're all bronze, or whatever, you don't see any of that, man. It totally blocks it out, and it's really unfortunate. That's the way it was back when I first began.
Yeah.
And and they put makeup on it, and you couldn't see anything. It was all the same. Everybody had the same crap on. And I'm like, finally, I just, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. There's nothing wrong with my own skin. So I like when the skin, I just like how my body and I like how my skin responds to what's going on in the scene. So I like it to be as raw and open and revealing as possible.
And as a seasoned actor, what's going to trigger that. Hey, if I do this, it's good.
Maybe.
So you're comfortable. You're comfortable in your own skin, literally, without makeup.
I'm definitely comfortable in my own skin, but I don't have any pre-ideas of what's going to happen.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just doing the scene, and if something happens in the scene, then it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But if it does, and it somehow upsets me or gets me laughing or something, you're going to see a difference in my skin tone, and that's what I really like. I'm from the days of Technicolor. Okay, all those westerns, those vast mountains, and then the actor comes into a close-up, and they are actually sunburned, or you see that stuff. I like seeing those nuances in the skin.
Yeah. Right on. Irene, thank you. Great question. We'll do what's next from Emily. Would you rather have Merle's knife arm or be able to use Yondu's whistle arrow?
Oh, come on, please. Why would you not want let's have the arrow, baby. Come on. That's a no-brainer. Absolutely no-brainer. The arrow wins out big time.
That's kind of
and you can keep both your arms,
Yeah, that's very true. Very, very true. I think we have time for one more question from the audience, so I'll ask for a really good one from our pool. And from Chen, sounds like you could take a hit and are good at building. How well do you think we would survive in a zombie outbreak?
Who?
Who, you?
We or me?
I think you. Yeah, just you. How would you?
I think I would actually survive quite well. I'm not really. Well, I did The Walking Dead. I'm not afraid of zombies. Come on. I'd be shitting my pants. I'd be running so fast, especially if they trudged along like in The Walking Dead. You know. But how about the one that they filmed where they are fast? That would be scary as hell.
Right? That's what Gunn did when he remade Dawn. He made them runners.
Yeah, so I'm. You know what? I'd make sure I had my weapon of my. I'd have plenty of weapons of choice. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Absolutely, Chen. Thank you for that. And GalaxyCon viewers, this has been my time with Michael Rooker, but it does not have to be yours. If you'd like to chat with our guest or purchase an autograph, please head over to GalaxyCon.com. And while you're there, be sure to check out our schedule of upcoming events like this one. Michael, before we go, any final words for our audience?
Hello, audience. Goodbye, audience. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll check you again. Come on over. We'll do a private and I think we're limiting those shout outs though. So
I believe that was I was told that was closed out, but the autographs and prints are still available.
All the other things are still available. Come on out and let's hang out and chat a little bit.
Definitely, absolutely. Audience, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for those great questions, and we hope to see you later on this afternoon. We'll have the cast of Star Trek Deep Space Nine tomorrow. We have guests from Doctor Who and Marvel's The Defenders. Michael, always a pleasure. Come back and see us anytime.
Thank you, sir.
And bye-bye, everyone. Take care and keep washing those hands. Michael, stick around right where you are. We'll be in the virtual back room.
Done and done.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.